This video we're going to talk about GP interviews. There is a huge amount of competition at the moment for multiple reasons. GP jobs aren't really popping up at the moment, and hoping with the new government they'll sort that out, but in the meantime that puts you in a difficult position if you're trying to go for an interview, that the competition is very high. I'm a GP partner, so I've been on the other side of the table interviewing, and I'm only relatively new to the job, having had an interview 3 years ago. So as part of this, I thought I'd give you my 5 quick tips and just things that I saw done well and on the flip side done badly to help you with your job interview. So let's go through it. Number 1, research. This one is so simple to do, but it was so obvious when people hadn't done it, and that was to research the practice. This can be simply done by Googling the practice first. Have a good look at the website and see what services they offer, see what the staff do, what the staff are interested in, and start to build up that picture about them. So once you've nailed down the website, have a look wider, and you want to have a look at the patient feedback survey. And this is a national survey done on a yearly basis, and basically gets a select number of the patients to give their honest feedback on the practice. And you'll be able to find this freely and available. I'll leave a couple of links down below. CQC report, again, done on about a 5-yearly basis. They're sort of, with COVID, they're altering things, but have a look at the last report. What was the practice graded at? What were their areas of improvement, if any, or was there anything that they've done well? Have a read of it, make a couple of notes, and then just think more laterally. Google reviews, NHS reviews, make sure you have a look at those from that way. Are they responding back to any criticisms? What are the general feelings? For Google reviews, what's the overall rating? Now, if you wanted to go a bit further, get on Facebook or whatever social media platform they think they use, and go to like a town website. From there, have a look, type in medical practice, see if anyone's sort of commented about the medical practice there. Also, try and see if they're on social media. You know, what does it look like? Are they interacting with their patients? Are they sort of really reaching out? And that could be useful on both ways. So in an interview process, you can say, right, well, yes, I can see that you're actively posting, say, on Facebook. You've got really positive Google reviews, and that shows that you're interacting with your patients in a new and sort of embracing social media. In terms of research as well, if you're a registrar going into a practice, have a chat with your other registrars. Has anyone been to that practice? Have they worked there? What do they think about it? Or just speak to your trainer if they're not a training practice. It's a small world. People will know what that practice is like, and so they'll be able to give you their honest sort of feedback from that way. So, point number 2, every interaction that you have with that practice will be judged. Really sorry to say, it's a bit unfair. And what I mean by that is that if you email the practice and then they respond to you expecting some more information, depending on your time that you take to get back, will give them a sort of a marker of what you're like. So for example, if you take a week or ignore it, they're going to judge you. I'm really sorry. But likewise, if you are quick to respond, professional to respond, they will then think of you more positively. And likewise, when you're presenting yourself electronically, think about how your CV looks and a covering letter. Most jobs will expect you to have a covering letter and a CV. From my point of view, covering letters should be professional looking, so with an address at the top, date, time, etc., with a very clear reason of why you're applying for this job, showing that you've read the job interview or job advert, and what you can bring to the organisation. Likewise, CV, just imagine people are time pushed, because they generally are. So keep your CV short, professional looking, no more than 2 pages. And also, do not go into your depths of pasts, because quite frankly, people don't care. If you're talking about what primary school achievements that you got, it's really pointless. So from my point of view, I would go into a lot of detail about your recent things. So if you're a registrar, think about, I want to know what your quips were about, what your quality improvement activities, because from a partner point of view or from an viewer point of view, basically that's going to show me what you could bring to our practice, because you've already done it to another practice. And then thinking about what you got in your exams, what exams you passed, but only keep it relevant. So your professional exams, maybe your university, and then anything other than that, just really summarise, i.e. I don't really care what A-level or GCSE grades you got, but just sort of really tighten them down. I got, 11 GCSEs ranging from this grade. That's it. Don't really care about much detail, and that'll keep your CV shorter as well. So point 3, the look around. Oh, this one. I have seen people lose a job and make a job from the informal look around. This again is another metric that the practice and you can use to sort of gauge what the job's going to be like. If a practice offers you an informal look around, make sure you take it. This is normally about half an hour, 45 minutes of just sort of having a look around, having a chat, generally no structure, but it's an opportunity for you to gauge what people like. So from that point of view, really, people who've done really well on this, chat to all members of staff, not just doctors, so be mindful if you're just ignoring the receptionist. 2, don't be late. I've seen some people who are an informal chat and rock up 15-30 minutes late, which quite frankly is unacceptable. And then also how you're presented. Okay, are you smartly dressed? Now, I'm not saying you should rock up, suit and tie or a smart skirt, depending on what your flavour is, but I think you certainly got to be able to be presentable in the way that you're looking, I would argue, semi-professional, certainly on the informal look around, because this is the point of, how you're sort of judging yourself and how you're presenting yourself. So point 4 is thinking about your own career. Now, I've seen it where they say, what is your 5-10 year plan? And they clearly have put very, very little effort into it. And I think from that way, you just need to have, even if you don't follow through with it, just a couple of ideas of what you would like to do. Because if you don't choose your career, someone else is going to choose it for you. So whether that be teaching, research, minor surgery, just something like that, just to show that you're going to progress things through. And then finally, point 5, think about how your interests will meet with the practices lacking or where they're missing out on, and how that's going to push forward. And I'll give you 2 examples for this, how this was really, really well done. So first example, with our practice, we just recently were recruiting for a partner, and we do not offer minor surgeries. And a couple of the excellent candidates had managed to research that and knew that that was something that we didn't offer. So they turned around and said, right, I offer minor surgery. I have got this amount of experience, or I'm willing to engage with the process, and then we can set this up together. The better one out of the 2 had already done it and was able to prove that he had done many hundreds of hours minor surgeries. He had audited it and he was happy to talk about that. And he was able to sort of give a financial income versus time lost argument as well. This ability to think about your time lost in terms of surgeries or clinics or patients seen versus the financial income is also a really, really useful thing to do as well. And that way, that to me had shown that 1, he'd researched our practice, 2, that it was something he was interested in, so he was going to be happy. And then 3, he'd sort of really figured out that from my point of view, we need to balance the books. So yes, he's not going to see as many patients, but that's going to be counteracted by the financial input that he's going to put into the practice. The second one needed a bit of development, but was really, really fascinating. So from my point of view, our patients in my practice are generally very well educated, middle class, and mostly professionals. From that way, this raises an interesting opportunity that lifestyle medicine was something that they really engage with. So I will often give them advice about diet, exercise, rather than, say, putting them on a statin, for example. One of the candidates knew this, as she had sort of engaged with us about sort of 9 months beforehand. We weren't advertising at the time, just giving us, really wanted to work at the practice and was just wanting to try and sort of have a suss out. She'd then done a couple of things. So she was off her own bat with doing her nutrition training, and she was hoping to bring that into the practice. And this shows to me is like, you've really thought about something that we don't offer, i.e. lifestyle medicine at the practice, but something that our patients really want to engage with. I think for her, what would have been brilliant, and I fed this back to her and she was really receptive to it, was just thinking about how do you incorporate all this information into what we've got already. So for example, thinking about your 10-minute consultation, is there anything that you can do to quickly add in there that everyone can use? So think about patient information leaflets. Do we update the website? Do you incorporate that into pre-populated AccuRxs? So in that very tight consultation where you just want to do something quick, you can say, right, I'm going to send you an AccuRx of suitable exercises or, suitable diet. There, off you go. And then think about further. So the next step she wanted to, was think about whether she could offer group discussions. Now, again, this needs careful consideration, because there's a question of, do you offer it in the evening? And so you're not missing out on patients, or do you want to offer it in the daytime? And I'd be very, very clear in your interview what that sort of looks like from that way. And then finally, sort of think about further, what could you use? Obviously, we've got a very small but growing social media presence, and so actually, could you use what we've got already, showing that you've researched the practice to sort of engage with what you're interested in? Okay, so my 5 quick tips. I really hope that's helpful. Dr. Dave Highmarsh, GP Templates. Very best of luck to you.